Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mimi Kali. See, Patrick is not around. Remember last week, we introduced to you the topic about relationships. And today, we are still going to continue. We were asking ourselves, when is the right time for kids to have relationships? While I was asking C. Patrick if he had one, and he said yes. I hope you're going to enjoy the show as we continue. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you very much for having me on your show today. My name is Amon Munyaneza. I am a pastor of Light Church in Kabuga in Rwanda. And it's a great privilege to be here and to speak to your audience.
Wow, we are also honored to have you. Today we are talking about relationships. And we've been having many questions, I and Patrick. We were wondering, when is the right time to be in relationships?
Maybe you probably meant youth.
Yeah, the youth.
Yeah, that's a very good question. When I was growing up, we had the same question all the time.
Okay.
You know, I was 17 and 18 and, even before that, when I was 15, I felt I was, mature enough. I could make decisions.
Okay.
I could go places. And then when I became 18, I thought, maybe I can make even more decisions,
Okay.
So what is the right time to say, I got a boyfriend, I got a girlfriend? In my opinion, I believe that we were all created for relationships, When God made us at the beginning of time, He created us to be in relationship. And that's why God created, Adam and Eve. When after He created Adam, He said, it's not good for man to be alone.
Yeah.
I'll make him, a suitable partner. Even God, as God, He exists in relationship. God exists as God the Son, God the Father, and God the Holy Spirit. So the Trinity is a relationship.
Okay.
So what is the right time to be in a relationship? Anytime. But the question is, what kind of relationship? So different ages have different relationships. So if you're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, relationship, what is the right time? I have an answer for that.
Yeah, that's what we are talking about.
Is that where you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So as I was saying, there are different relationships at different age groups. As a kid, you have a relationship with your parents. As a 5-year-old, you have a relationship with your friends at kindergarten.
Yeah.
When you're 7 or 8, you have sleepovers, with your friends. You have relationships. When you're 13, going to high school, what you call secondary school here.
Yes.
You have relationship with your classmates. You go for birthday parties and, so you have relationship. Now, when you turn 18, there is a problem. The problem is that you're wondering, am I an adult or am I a child?
Yeah.
I see people am I ready to be married or am I still a student? So you are in a time where you can't really tell whether you should be creating a long-lasting relationship that leads to marriage or whether you should still be the young man in high school that has so many friends. So my answer to that is, you are probably still a young man, young woman that has so many relationships at 18. I don't know if I'll put the word back to you. I have more to talk about that, but I will put it back to you.
Yeah, so my question is, when you reach 18, 16, or even 17, boys start dating up.
Pairing up.
Yeah, my question is, when is the right age? You have 2 daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
When is the right time? May your daughter say, Dad, here I have a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
What is the right time for you?
Well, the next question for me to her is, when is the wedding? Because if you're telling me that you have one now, you've chosen one, that means you have a plan. But if she comes home and she says, oh, I made a new friend,
Okay.
then that's fine. You can make a new friend. But if you are exclusive, so let me tell you this. So I don't know how old you are, and definitely you're old enough to, do whatever you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
But think about this, think about if you were, say, 19, and then you've got a boyfriend, right? And this boyfriend is calling you at night, calling you in the morning, asking where you are, asking when your birthday is. It's like he is, or she, we've got a lot of she that do that as well.
Yeah.
They want to know, you are 19, and they want to know what you ate, where you lived, it's like, wait a second, I'm not even married yet,
Yeah.
I still want to have freedom. I want to go where I want to go. I want to have the friends that I want to have. I don't want an exclusive person who is asking me questions and I have to give an accountability of what I'm doing all the time, because I want to have many friends, right? Those are things that happen in marriage. I think it is so unfair for an 18, 19-year-old to be locked up in this exclusive relationship when they still have 6, 7 years of their lives to live their life, right?
Yeah.
So when is the right time? The right time is when you say, I am ready now. I'm not a high school student, unless you want to get married in high school. I am not 17, I am ready, I am, and whenever you're ready. You could be ready at 18, that's fine. Some people want to get married in high school, that's fine. But maybe you can tell me, what would the relationship then be about if it is this exclusive relationship and there is no date for the wedding? What will be the relationship about?
In life, like before you get married, you date, then you break up. It's normal.
Yes.
Yeah, so for me, I think my kid, if I had one,
Yes.
he or she can start dating at 18 and get married when she or he is ready. That's what I think.
No, and that's a good point. I'm not saying that, no one should be dating nobody at 18. I don't want to say, the age limit is 25. But let me just pick up on that point that you made, that you date, if you don't like the guy, then you break up. Well, let's talk about if the guy doesn't like you, he breaks up with you, and then what happens? Then I've got my daughter now, and this happens all the time. She's not eating, she's not getting out of the house. Now she has image problems because now she thinks that maybe the guy broke up with her because she's not beautiful enough, or maybe she's not kind enough, So then you got one breakup, which we call a heartbreak. You normally send the text message that says, you really broke my heart, and then and then you pick up another one, right? So you're 18, you spend 6 months, he breaks your heart. You pick up another one, he breaks your heart. You pick up another, he breaks your heart. As a guy who is, meeting you when you're ready to get married, I don't want to marry someone who has had their heart broken 5 times, because that heart is really, really hard to manage in a marriage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, be ready and say, I found a guy, I found a girl, we're getting married. That makes sense.
Yeah, so probably what you've just said is really true, because if you hurt more than 3 times, it's so hard to even have the self-love. Like, you even lose the trust for people. So please, don't let boys break your heart if you're a girl, and if you're a boy, please don't let any girl break your heart.
And don't break anybody's heart.
Yeah, so you've experienced 3 cultures, both American culture, Rwandan culture, and Ugandan culture. So you have enough experience about all those 3 countries manage relationships. So can you please share with the audience how you experienced all those cultures, and maybe there is a kid there who is also waiting for such an advice?
Thanks for that question. It's a difficult one for me because, yes, you're right. I was born in Uganda, grew up there until I was 25, and then I'm Rwandan, moved to Rwanda after the genocide against the Tutsi. and then moved to America, lived there for a long period of time. So I picked up all these cultures, but the big thing that happened to me is I was watching. You know, when you're exposed to many cultures, you're watching and you're learning. So every culture is going to have its own different, what I call it, like a culture, you know, variation. So when it comes to relationships, I know that's where you're going, and you probably want to know, hey, look, man, you lived in America and girls 12 are dating, and, you know, and they are not only dating, but, you know, they're taking it the whole 9 yard, you know, and you're saying, so why are you telling us here to wait until the last day of whatever? So let me say this. You know, if American parents want their kids to have exclusivity at 14, I'm sure they have a reasoning for that.
Yeah.
You know, it is beautiful when you are young, you know?
Yeah.
You know, when you are young, it's amazing. You know, you get to go out and dress up nice and do your makeup, and the guy goes to the gym and, you know, takes a girl out and they spend an evening, watch a movie, you know. It's great. You got a friend. It is amazing. But what is that whole thing doing to marriages? I think there is, you know, there's a little bit of that in marriages, where early marriages, early dating before people are ready, are creating all kinds of strange things. So absolutely no problem to date at 18, absolutely no problem to date at 17. It is your right. 16, go for it. But what I'm saying is, why do you have to tie yourself down at 16 when you can have 20 friends who are boys? You know, then when you're ready, say, not that one, no, this one, no. Oh, I like this one. You know what? Because now you know them.
Yeah.
Let me also say this. So you are 16, you're 18, you're 17, you know, you're dating. Here's the thing. It's very hard to understand or to know how people behave if you are in an exclusive relationship. You will never know that once you're married, you know, he doesn't smell the way that he smelled when you're dating. He smells different. But if you are in an open relationship where you have many friends, right? You know, you got 20 boyfriends for you, and, you know, or you, I see, you know, a young man there, you got 20 girlfriends, 20 friends who are girls. That's what I mean. You know, and you're not exclusive, you're not dating. What this means is that people are going to be themselves.
Yeah.
So now you get to see people the way they are. So by the time you're ready, you know these guys. You know, you've got to know 20 guys. You've gone out with them. They've come for your birthday. You know, you've had, you know, great conversations with them. No strings attached. And now you know them. When it's time to pick one, you know exactly who to go for. The moment you are exclusive at 18, you don't know the rest.
Yeah.
You know, you've just, minimized your options. So I'm saying to you, I don't know how old you are. You look young. You look, you know, like maybe you haven't even turned 20 yet. Who knows? But my advice is, date a lot of boys and have so many friends.
Like 30 boys.
Yeah, get 30 friends who are boys and another 30 friends who are girls, right? Okay. And when you go out, you know, call 2 boys and 2 girls and take them out and have fun, enjoy. And then you get to understand that that boy has a dirty mouth, you know, because now he's in his element, and he starts talking and talking. He doesn't even know the girl that is eyeing him, you know, is right here. So keep it open. Now, when you're ready and you got, you know, you're like, if I get one today, I'm getting married tomorrow, you know, then you pick from the 30. Okay. That is my personal opinion. It is not. Don't try this at home. So that is my personal opinion about relationships.
Wow. That's inspiring, but I still have one more question for you. You know, we were all born and raised by different parents. Mm-hmm. Some parents are Christians, others maybe take alcohol, others smoke, and there are children who are also watching this, or the youth, and are growing from different families. So we got a chance to talk to the bishop. So what advice can you tell these kids who don't get a chance to sit with their parents and get their advice and maybe some guidelines from their friends? Like, what can you tell them?
Well, thanks for asking that question. And that's a sad question. It's one that I probably wouldn't be answering, happy, because it's actually true that a lot of kids are growing up without parental guidance. There's a lot of kids, by single mothers. The dad took off or the mother took off. Now they only live with the dad, and or they don't have parents. They're orphans. And then when it comes to relationship, time for dating, they don't really have someone who's mature and hold them accountable and ask them the tough questions. So what is the advice I'll give to young people? If you're a young person and you are in a family where you don't really have role models as parents or as guardians, there are places you can go. There are places you can find that. And for me as a pastor, we found that church is a great place to be. So that's one place you can go. The other place you can go is, find a friend. Maybe your friend's mom is more engaging. Take them over as your role model. Ask them questions. Be proactive to find someone who can, answer your questions, who can, we call it, disciple you. So it really goes back to you, once you turn 16, 17, 18, and you don't have a role model at home, it falls back on you to say, okay, now that I don't have a role model, let me give you an example. I left home when I was 14. I began living on my own, before I turned 18. And I had to find role models. And I found a lot of people who care for me, who want to see me succeed, who want to see me prosper. And I had a lot of freedom to become unruly, to become whatever I wanted. I left home when I was 14, so I could do whatever I wanted. But somehow, by God's grace, I think it has a lot to do with being in church. Mm-hmm. I learned that God had a big plan for me, and He had a bigger purpose for my life. So I had to start early to start creating a boundary around myself and finding, role models that can take me to a place where I want to be. But going back to your question, find a role model. Even if you don't have parents who are role models, find one and build your life, become something in your life, and then you can be a role model to other, kids who are growing up once you become an adult.
Wow. So thank you so much, Bishop. We are honored to have you in the show.
And thanks for having me today. It has been enjoyable spending time with you and getting to speak to your audience. And I hope that we'll have another time to share a few other things. So thank you.
And I hope if you have been watching this show, you learned something. And please, as you watch it, after watching, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much.